What's up, guys? Welcome to the official disorderly recap of the 90th Academy Awards, or I don't know, 2018 Oscars, however you prefer to address the title of the thing. So we're going to go, it's very unformatted, I think. It's pretty much a live reaction. We're recording this, I mean, unfortunately, at midnight Eastern time at least, because as we know with the Oscars, they tend to run very long. People, I believe you're texting me with something like, you have to give love to, the every single social issue going on is very important. We don't know how to react to certain situations unless the Hollywood elite tell us how to react. And obviously the Hollywood elite is not in touch with the fact that I have to get up at 6 a.m. tomorrow for work. So we are pushing right through it, but I'm very tired. I'm going to probably lean on you more for your reactions to things because you're at least on West Coast time. You're 3 hours ahead of me, so you have no excuse. First of all, I think we anticipated this in general, but what's your thought on the Oscar run time and the fact that it always seems to run pretty late?
Yeah, I'm Dave, by the way. So just
I'm so bad at that. Yeah, this is Nick and Dave. This thedisorderly.com is the website. David St. Martin is the founder of it. I feel like I was an early contributor, but I feel like it's your baby and I'm more of a contributor to it. But I mean, I think the preview I did with me and Monica, I think I introduced myself like 15 minutes in, so not very professional.
Yeah, no, it's pretty informal. And everything's going to be tagged, you know what I mean? But just to keep everyone informed. Because, I mean, we could have a random one. Because typically it's either me or you, or me with Volpe, and you with Monica. But, there's not a lot of me with Monica or you with Volpe. So, maybe we'll start introducing some weird couple, crossovers.
Odd couples.
Eventually down the line. Yeah. But, yeah, ridiculous as always. I mean, I don't know. It always goes long. I think this is my... Let's see. The last 3 years, I've watched them at varying. Last year, I was in Colorado, so that was, a semi-weird mountain time. Then the year before that, I watched them in California. The year before that, I was on the East Coast. So, yeah, it is definitely better to watch on the West Coast. Definitely easier for you. But, yeah, it's, the same kind of crazy long. I mean, everyone complains about how long these shows are, but they're like, hey, let's do just all these breaks. Let's do all these musical numbers. I don't get the musical numbers.
Right.
This is an award show for films. You know what I mean? Musicals. I understand when musicals were a big part of Hollywood productions, and a lot of the biggest movies each year were musicals. But that kind of isn't the case anymore. You know what I mean? And there's so few musicals now. It seems weird to kind of have the musical numbers performed. I don't know. It feels antiquated, weird. I guess people enjoy it. I don't know. I'm not a musical guy. Shocking probably to a lot of you, but yeah, we just
prove it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. So I mean, it's a weird thing. There's a lot of tributes. This year was kind of heavy on a lot of different things. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I was working through a lot of the show, so I'm tweeting or I'm adjusting things. So I kind of have it in the background, but I'm sort of paying attention, but hopping back and forth from different things. But a lot of just weird. I think the weirdest. I expected all of the Me Too and all those things. Totally expected those. The one that kind of took me back, and I don't know if I was just not paying attention, but the military tribute from West Studio, I was like, whoa, this is kind of weird and random in the middle of this thing. I was like, I don't need like a 5-minute tribute to the military, like in the movie. You know what I mean? Like military movies, aren't they great? Let's honor those. Like, I've seen all these movies. Like, you know what I mean? The constant montages of movies and stuff, they're kind of fun. Like we've seen them all, you know what I mean? Like, the In Memoriam, I know they want to do it. It's just kind of like,
I feel like the thing is in general when you have, and not like any of us are like anti-military, but I feel like it's become such a political thing where it's like on some level, and this goes into the conversation we had about Black Panther or whatever. It becomes like, can't we just enjoy movies for like what they are? And I feel like, and we know this, it's not like a surprise. We knew that the Oscars has been politicized for a long time now, but it just seems like I don't know. I wish it was like literally just a movie award show, and I feel like people like feel like some sort of social responsibility to make it more than that or whatever. But I almost wish it's just like, hey, what was the best movie? Like, why do we have to attach like all this other stuff to it? It's just like for me watching, just and I feel like I'm sure not the only person that feels this way, but like from an outside perspective, it's like, I don't know, man. I wish it was just literally an award show for like the best movies, and they didn't attach all these other like social issues to it. But I don't know.
Well, we're just two white guys trying to make our way through this world, Nick. You know what I mean? And not everything's going to swing our way.
It's a tough life.
Yeah, not everything's going to break our way. So I mean, I'll you gotta trudge through and endure. But let's talk about some of the winners tonight. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but I kind of threw out the gauntlet earlier the week, and I was like, let's do a little picks competition. Not a competition of sorts. It's just bragging rights. You know what I mean? For a few of us, of who was going to pick, and we didn't do all the categories because it was just going to be way too many. But we kind of stuck to some of the bigger categories and did some staff picks and things like that. And I thought I'd just share them with you, Nick, if you want to hear how we all did.
Yeah, you got a stat breakdown? Go ahead.
Yeah, I did.
Wait, real quick, without even calculating myself, I'm pretty sure Monica did the worst, but continue.
Well, thanks for stepping right on my intro here, but your homegirl Monica struggled.
I'll share some insight on that in a second, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, she struggled. She came in with a whopping 1 correct prediction. Coco, which was kind of a default. We all picked Coco. If you want to, I mean, it's a tough one to stand on as your only score, you know what I mean? But, I'll run it down. Ash came in in 4th place. Yes, 4th place with 4 predictions. And then, 2nd place was a tie between, you and Volpe with 7 picks, correct? And then ya boy led the way, all the way, with 8 solid predictions.
Now, I'll say that I feel like that I sensed the cockiness in your voice when you started talking about this. I feel like it was very obvious that you were the winner when you came into it so confident. Like, oh, do you want to hear the stats? I feel like it was like
no, exactly. Well,
right, very transparent.
I'm not gonna slow play into it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get right to the point. I'm gonna hype it up. So yeah, I mean, I think the only pick that I did not get correctly is one that you and Volpe both went with which was original screenplay for Get Out. I went with Greta Gerwig. I thought that was how the Academy was going to toss her a bone. Nope.
Yeah, you're an idiot, so that's clear. Now, to shine some light on the Monica picks, if you listen to the preview, you probably have some insight into this regardless, or ahead of time or whatever. I had to really describe the movies to her before she came over with their picks, because what Monica provides, what she brings to the table, is a very let's call it an outside perspective to the movie industry, where she is really coming in cold. So I would assume it's actually funny to see in visual form too when you're looking at the names next to the movies, and I was like, oh, she's out on her own on I think every single movie. She agreed with one person, I think maybe one time, probably Coco. That might have been the only one, and sure enough, that's the only one she won. So it's interesting for sure. Definitely not a movie expert.
Coco was one that you almost couldn't afford to not get right. It was almost more of a lock than Gary Oldman, I think, of the major locks this year. Coco was in a field star-studded with the Boss Baby. Coco, you knew Coco was going to probably do well.
Yeah, that was the sure lock. I don't know what the odds were. I've never looked at the gambling odds for Oscars.
No, I don't.
I'm sure that was a heavy favorite. That's the only one that was a sure thing, I think.
All right, let's go through some of these. I'm gonna kind of start with let's start with cinematography, which I somehow did not include into the picks. I don't know when it snuck past me, but just shout out to Roger Deakins. I'm glad he finally got some recognition. I mean, he's been recognized, but he's never won. I think he's been nominated 15 times. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Shawshank, Big Lebowski, Sicario. I mean, you name it. Good Will Hunting, I think he did. I mean, he's just done a ton of these movies that are just wow. And just did not win. I think he did a James Bond not too recently. I want to say, don't hold me to it, but I think it was a James Bond. But just glad for Roger Deakins. I mean, he had the best acceptance speech probably of the night as well, where he seems kind of like a fidgety, aging rock star that's not super comfortable being interviewed, kind of had that vibe.
Now, I feel like from what I saw from the lead up, I feel like you were, and full disclosure, it's a movie I did not see, but I feel like you were really high on Blade Runner. Did they win anything else? It's hard to remember looking back because I feel like I was focusing on the major awards that we actually predicted, but was that their only win, or did they win others?
Hold on a sec. I just want to double check, but they did win some of the effects
Right, because so just while you look at that, my sort of darling, the one that I was rooting for, that I didn't think I was going to win anything really, was Dunkirk. I love Dunkirk, and they won all like the sound ones. They won sound editing, sound mixing. Like, honest to God, I feel like I don't even know if the people involved in those categories know the difference. I feel like those are the same, but especially to the untrained eye. But regardless, they won both those, Dunkirk. And that was what I was hoping they'd win, like those random awards. I didn't think they'd win Best Director. I didn't think they'd win Best Picture. Sure enough, they didn't. But that was my darling. I feel like your darling, the one that you were kind of pulling for, was Blade Runner. And I mean, obviously they won that. Cinematography. I still haven't seen it. Even from the trailer, it seems like they deserve that. But what else did they win? Do you have it?
They won Best Visual Effects, so they they got a bone.
They got the picture ones. Dunkirk got the sound ones.
Yeah, Dunkirk got kind of the bigger ones. What they got editing, they got
sound editing, sound mixing, and then.
But I was like, all right, Dunkirk had some funky editing, which I almost I don't know. I don't know how you cut on this one, but it's like. I was kind of confused watching it. So is that a testament to the editing or not? You know what I mean? It was a very strange.
Yeah, hard to say. Was it an intentional confusion of the audience? That's very up to interpretation.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So it was a weird way to tell that story from three different perspectives, in three different timelines. You know what I mean? So I guess for kind of crafting some sort of confusing, slightly boring movie, you win an Oscar for Best Editing.
But I will say, so it's sound editing, right? So I feel like is that even? I feel like that what you're criticizing is almost more of like a directorial criticism, whereas sound editing is almost just like how you mix, like almost. I could be very wrong on this, but the way I've always interpreted it as just like a fan of films is it not just the way they literally have the sound, like how Star Wars sounds is very audibly great, like independent of the plot or the script or the pacing or anything else. Like, I feel like. It's not about even the movie. It's just like, how did you actually literally mix the sound together? Is that not what that award is?
Are you talking about sound editing? I'm talking about editing. They won.
It won that too? Oh, it won sound editing and sound mixing as well. So I wasn't sure.
And I mean, it cleaned up. So I mean, it won editing.
Okay.
As well,
right.
As well as the sound ones, yeah. So.
But even still, is that not more of a directorial decision as far as like telling the story from three different directions and all that? I feel like that's not a straight up editing. I don't know.
No, it's a weird. It's just a weird way to tell it.
Right,
it's like, I don't know. It's I don't know. Kind of a weird one. What else we got here?
Well, so I have a few more talking points I want to get into, but just real quickly, just to establish it, what of the 8? Let's just talk about the Best Picture nominees. Which of the 8 have you seen? Have you seen all of them? Is there some you've missed? Where do you stand on that?
Are you going to expose me like this? How dare you? This is one thing you never ask another.
Hold on a second, because I feel like this is
Hollywood writer pro.
This is an outside perspective where I feel
this is like asking a girl how many men she slept with or something. This is
all right. So we can do the same thing. You can give me a number and I'll multiply by 3. But I do think that what we could do with this, and this is just our unique perspective. I feel like most people haven't seen all. Like, I feel like that's more of a realistic approach to all of this. Like, have you seen all of them? Feel free to lie. No one will know. I can't call you on. I wasn't with you.
Nah, I'll be pretty truthful about it. I mean, they expanded it, right?
Most.
So when
yeah,
it
10,
jumped
right?
from
or 8.
Well, it's 9. This year it's 9,
Jesus,
I think,
yeah,
right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's 9. So I think I did the math, and I think I've seen. Let's see. The only ones I didn't see are "Call Me by Your Name" and "Darkest Hour." I saw, and "The Post." I didn't see "The Post." So what am I, 6 out of 9? I just couldn't bring. I was like, all right, this is, let's hit it this weekend. Let's go, hit up the rest of them. Friday night, I was just gearing up. I was like, all right, Darkest Hour, let's go see it. And I just couldn't do it. I was just, I couldn't do it, man. I was just like, I got to just chill out or something. I can't go listen to Gary Oldman be Winston Churchill for 2.5 hours. I can't handle it. So, yeah, that is my, always want to see them all. I don't know. The Post I had just kind of no interest in seeing, and then Call Me by Your Name. I just didn't get around to it. I don't know. It was
expensive too. Like, if you don't want to see it in theaters, Call Me by Your Name.
It's today. The same price for me every time, buddy, because of that movie.
Is it still in theaters? It's not around me. That's the other difference of us being you're in more of a metropolis area. Like, for me, it wasn't in theaters. The only way I could watch it is if they didn't even have it for rental. I could buy it for like $15 on YouTube, I think, but I couldn't even do the $5 rental. So like that I was priced out of that one personally. Just time.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, no, I mean, it was few and far between. of trying to get a hold of it. And yeah, it was one of those that everyone told me, oh, it's so incredible, it's great, you got to go see it.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, all right. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure I'll see it, but
I'll seek it out of it. I got a text literally as the Oscars are starting and be like, I just saw it, Call Me by Your Name, it was amazing. Like, what did you think of it? And I was like, didn't see it. And that, by the way, this is what, if you've learned nothing from the like Barstool model and all that, it's honesty. You know, the people who are like, yep, I've seen them all, and here's my authoritative. I feel like it bleeds in more if people can relate to you. Like, yeah, of course you didn't see eight movies where like 3 or 4 of them are still in theaters. It's crazy. So just full disclosure. Call Me by Your Name, I did not see. And then, The Post, same thing. But I did see Darkest Hour, but I did not see Phantom Thread. So I also saw 6 of 9, but the one we different, I saw Darkest Hour, you saw Phantom Thread, and then those other 2 we did not see.
All right. So we got some good crossover here going on.
Yeah, and pretty good, I think. That was pretty good effort. I feel like we like just seeing 6 of 9. And I crammed. Like this weekend, I saw Lady Bird, what was the one I just said? Darkest Hour, and then I can't remember one other one, all in like a day or 2. So like I crammed.
You can't remember it.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think. Well, I know I saw. I don't know.
It was an Oscar like movie. You can't remember it.
I know the 6 I saw. I just can't remember which one I saw this weekend, which one I saw like a week ago. But so those
was it 3 built? Was it 3 billboards?
I saw that in theaters. I saw that in theaters.
Okay.
I saw
a while ago.
Well, all right. So let's just jump into this because it's obviously, I mean, the Best Picture winner. I feel like it's the biggest topic. I know we both saw The Shape of Water. I have a very kind of strong, probably unpopular opinion about this movie. You saw it. For me personally, and I think it was okay. I think I'm a very open-minded person about like odd films. Like I could list off a bunch. I won't, but I could read off a bunch of movies that like people would be like, "That's a weird movie," and I'm like, "Oh, I loved it." I don't know. I did not connect with this movie at all. I saw it in theaters. I saw it after all the hype was out. It was already like nominated, all this stuff. I saw it in theaters, and I was like, I just remember watching it and be like, at the end of the day, it's like a film about like a chick that is in love with a fish. Like it was just weird. It's just weird. I know. I feel like I'm open minded, but like I just didn't get how that was like the front runner. I don't know how that's Best Picture. Like I don't know. I love Guillermo del Toro as a director. I feel like he's done great stuff, but like the plot, it was just like I feel like even if you listen to his speech, he was like he was surprised that was like a front runner for Best Picture and it won. So I just don't know. I feel like you liked it more than I did probably, but I remember walking out, a fairly open-minded movie watcher, walking out and being, I saw it by myself, like no outside opinions, walking out and being like, whoa, that was kind of weird. I don't know what I just watched, but what are your overall thoughts on that? Do you think it deserved Best Picture?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was going to be a close race for me. It was, I obviously picked it. I won our staff picks, obviously.
Way to slip that in again. Well done.
I that was another one of my picks that worked out for me. I thought it would win because it's kind of got this overarching theme of kind of, evil government, Michael Shannon running around. It's got kind of a weird, interesting, different love story angle going on. It looks really cool. I mean, that's one thing. I don't know how you feel.
Yes, I picked him for best director, I think, because of that, because it looked really cool. But
okay. Yeah. I mean, I think it spoke that the score won. Right, so it cleaned up. I mean, so visuals, it won set design, it won Best Director, it won Best Picture, it won Best Score. So I mean, a lot of people really loved a lot of different things about the movie, right? So it kind of makes sense. I enjoyed it. I loved the kind of weird tint that he kind of established to everything. I was a big fan of his first Hellboy movie. And I got a lot of those same kind of vibes. I don't know, man. I'm a sucker for Michael Shannon, of course.
Yes.
Thought he was great. I obviously to have, God, I'm slipping on his name, but he was up for Best Supporting Director. Not Director. God.
I was going to say, what's the supporting director? That was news to me. I don't know if that was like...
Richard Jenkins
right.
As kind of
Juno's dad.
Yeah, and was he in that?
Oh no! Wait,
I don't know.
No, sorry. The stepbrother's dad. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yes,
yeah.
You're confusing him with.
That's J.K. Rowling's.
God,
no, J.K. Rowling's. God, this is like some back. This is
J.K.
Yes,
Simmons.
I'm going to testament that J.K. Rowling's wrote Harry Potter. This is just as a reminder. This is past midnight.
John Jonah Jameson. J.J. from
yes,
the Spider-Man.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, it was pretty credible when you've got a Best Supporting Actress nominee in Octavia Spencer.
She was great, by the way. I thought she was like legitimately funny throughout the movie.
No, I thought she was great. I thought she was actually one of my favorite performances. I didn't think she was going to win because I picked Janny again in our staff picks. That was another correct pick of mine.
Me too. All right. You keep throwing in like
I'm just saying. I've been a long time
I picked her too.
believer in Team Janny.
Yeah.
I think Volpe picked Laurie Metcalf, kind of another strong favorite. You know what I mean? But to me, it was Janny all the way. I thought, Octavia Spencer, I loved her in that movie. I thought she was awesome. But I just, it had a ton of casting. You got Sally Hawkins in the Best Actress. I mean, just a lot of people, man. I want to say they had at least 13 nominations spread around.
Exactly,
something
13,
like that, right?
Yep.
13. And, yeah, man. I mean, I wasn't too surprised that it won, but with all the love that it kind of got and everything. But I enjoyed it personally. I mean, Ash loved it. It was her favorite movie of the year. I liked it. Good Time, I think, is still. I just like weirder stuff. You know what I mean? It's not a rewatch for me. I'm not going to sit there and watch it like once every 3 months.
Right.
So I don't know. You know what I mean? Interesting movie. Fine with it winning. Good for Guillermo.
Yeah, no, it was great. And just to move on to another sort of talking point of this, what were your thoughts on Jimmy Kimmel? Obviously, it's second year in a row. There's a lot of stuff leading up to this too, where they were like, is he going to address the Me Too movement? Is he going to like steer clear of it? Because there's like some confusing interview answers he gave or whatever. Obviously, he did address it, made jokes about it right in the monologue. I thought it was good. What are your overall thoughts on Jimmy Kimmel? I thought he did a good job personally, but
I thought he was fine. Yeah. I didn't think he kind of made any weird jokes that didn't land. I saw some presenters kind of slip in some things that, I think didn't land super well. It was weird to see Dave Chappelle up there trying to do like a tight 3 minutes. You know what I mean? Just weird stuff like that. But Kimmel, I thought was fine. I mean, I think he is kind of, I still see Man Show Jimmy Kimmel every time I see him.
Same,
but
yeah.
He'll always be Jimmy from the Man Show for me. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's just, I owned the Man Show DVD box sets from when I was like 15 years old and a moron watching the Man Show and loving it and all that stuff. So, I think, watching him pull bologna out of his pockets and eat it in front of people on the street and, so I'm blown away. Like, I'm just fascinated by it. I'm watching a video of him sitting on Ellen crying and, telling her I just would never imagine, you know what I mean, if you went and told 15-year-old Dave, like, hey, that guy from the Man Show talking about how much he hates Oprah and making fun of her, he's going to be calling her strong and powerful in 15 years. And excited to bring people into her movie called A Wrinkle in Time. I mean, it was just, you would blow my mind, you know what I mean? So
it was a weird thing where I listen to Jim and Sam every morning, whatever, Jim Norton and Sam Roberts, their like morning show on Sirius XM. That's like what I listen to when I drive to work. And they were talking about how it's so weird because obviously a lot of people still know him as, well, I would say it's 50-50. A lot of people still know him as the Man Show guy. A lot of people almost either didn't know him back then or separated or whatever, and they know him as like the, like the kind of like the left wing late night host or whatever he is now. And it's a weird sort of separation, right. But
changing healthcare, the healthcare conversation,
right? And Jim and Sam all the time, they're like, and they're almost like, I mean, not that they don't like Jimmy Kimmel, but it's almost like their reactions like, I mean, this dude is crying on TV every like few weeks, and it's like it's just weird. It's weird to have that be the same guy, or even like before. I remember him being like the witty like sidekick from Win Ben Stein's Money. Like I just like right. I'm a Jimmy Kimmel guy, and like I feel like I just because. It's almost like it was in conjunction with me, like, I wasn't watching as many late night shows, and, like, he just never made the cut for me. I'm more of a Conan guy, I always have been, and, like, when he started doing that, I don't know, I just never really followed it. So for me, my sort of, it ended with me watching the Man Show with Jimmy Kimmel. I know he does this late night show. I don't really actively watch it. I catch viral videos here and there. But for the most part, like, that's where it ended with me. So, like, when I see this, it still is out of character to me. Maybe that fits more with his current persona, but... Yeah, that's sort of weird, but like I said, I think he did a good job tonight. I think he was edgy enough without crossing any lines, kind of like the perfect balance for a host, anyway.
Yeah, no, it was fine. I'm glad we were kind of largely removed from. I think the most. I mean, everyone just. All right, another one that's just gonna kill me probably. But like, I was like, Tiffany Haddish, like, take it down from like a 12 and give me like a 7. Can you just like because I've known Tiffany Haddish for like 10 years. Like I don't know her, but I've known of her well before Girls Trip or whatever her movie was, and just, you know, I was like, you're being like a cartoon character of yourself. Like, just chill out. Like, she's a stand-up comedian. Like, you know, and I just, man, everyone's like, can we just get a Meryl Streep and Tiffany Haddish show? Tiffany Haddish, I was just, man, all right. Well, just take a breath, Tiffany. You know what I mean? Like, her bit was funny, but it was just a little too crazy, man. A little too just wild for me, man. But I enjoyed watching Jodie Foster kind of limp out. I thought that was funny, standing next to like an Amazonian-looking Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, what's the height difference there? Because I was shocked to see that. I feel like I don't think of one as short and one as tall, but seeing them next to each other, I was like blown away.
No. I don't know if Jennifer Lawrence is wearing like insane heels or something, or if Jodie Foster is like 5 foot tall, but I was like, I'm looking at them like, they're not the same species.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they just look totally different. You know what I mean? I'm just like, they're the same. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, Jodie Foster and her, you know, having some playful banter back and forth, kind of fun. But yeah, as presenters go, I don't know. I mean, let's see. I'm trying to think, but
I was gonna say outside of that. So I remember that moment too. I feel like it stuck out to me. Outside of that, I can think of 2 specific moments, but I'll just ask you the open-ended question. Out of the presenters, not anything else, no award winners, no hosts, whatever. Out of the presenters, what moment sort of stuck out to you more than anything else? I have 2 in mind, but I want to see.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, none of the presenters, and none of it really stuck out to me. Some of the winners, maybe. Shout out to the dude, the couple that won for best song for Coco. The guy cuts his wife off and goes, "Oh, but this isn't for my kids. This isn't for you, children. This is for my mom, who's my dead mom." Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did.
I was like, wow, that just didn't, you know, just didn't fall perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just thought it was me too. My husband cut me off in the middle of like, and then like insulted his family. Yeah, it was weird.
It was weird. That was a weird one for me. But you know, I there weren't that many. I
was gonna say the biggest pop I heard from just a presenter. Actually, I misspoke because the 2 of the moments, one of them was actually a winner, but the presenter I was thinking of when Emma Stone came out and did like that's what you're thinking of, right? It was like like 4 men and Greta Gerwig, and it was like the place exploded when she said that.
Portman already did that, bro.
Right.
Portman already dropped that one. Give me something.
And hers was better because it was almost a direct reaction to what was just said. So her, like, Portman's was almost like improvised, where I feel like Emma like could have scripted that as soon as she heard the nominees, you know. So as far as like a freestyle rap battle type perspective, I feel like Portman landed harder, but.
Feel bad for Guillermo on that one because he kind of
that's what happens, right? You get in these situations where it's like he didn't ask for that, and if anything, he's an immigrant, so like it's not like he's like a white American male. It wasn't like against it, and all of a sudden he wins and is like, well, shit, I'm one of the guys like that you just insulted.
It's like, you know, you're part of the patriarchy too, Guillermo.
Right.
Take it easy, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm just a Mexican guy trying to make... No, shut up, you know what I mean?
Because Portman's, wasn't it like, and in lieu of that, like, here are 5 all-male... Wasn't it like, it was something like that, right?
So she goes, and here are the all-male nominees.
And that was wittier because it was a direct reaction, so I'm Team Portman.
But again, Guillermo, they pan to Guillermo, and he goes like, hey, what are you going to do about it? Like, whoops. Shrugs, he's like, sorry.
Sorry for being born.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry for making movies, I guess. Like, I don't know.
Right,
you know what I mean?
The other one I was thinking of, just real quick, was the, and it wasn't, I realized it wasn't a presenter. It was the winner when Frances McDormand won. She made a big political sort of statement with her thing. And then, honestly, and like, I love her, for the record. I love Frances McDormand. And I'm glad she won, and the sort of point was good, but there was like legit, as they're pinning on the crowd, there was like the most maniacal laugh from her. Like she almost like, it was like,
I know.
And I was like, what the hell is it? Like it made me so uncomfortable to listen. It was just like, felt like, I don't even know, I think she was like excited and nervous and whatever, but like, I don't know, man. It was a crazy laugh. Like that's just unbiasedly. It was pretty maniacal.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of like any call to action that's like stand up. I have a cause, like stand up or else. I just don't want to. You know, you better stand up right now. You better applaud for this. I don't know. It's just weird to me. I don't know. It just you know, like, you've been here before, Francis. You know what I mean? Like, you're probably number 2 on the all-time depth chart under Streep, right? I mean, how many nominations does she have? She's got wins
Probably. She won for Fargo, right? And then
Fargo. Yep, that's the big one. And I don't know. Yeah, just weird. Go for it. Do your thing, Francis. But damn, dude, like, a weird thing. I don't even remember. I can't even remember who won. Well, I guess Gary Oldman. You know, his speech was kind of funky. You know what I mean?
Right.
I thought it was nice, understated. You know. Yeah, I don't know. Any more thoughts? I mean, I you know.
So all right. So I've a quick pivot in topics that relates, but it's sort of a pivot, and then we'll get back to almost like a more personal thing with us, the Disorderly. But real quick,
is it about Get Out? Is it Get Out related?
No. Do you have something to say about that?
No. I just thought you were going to gloat that Get Out won something.
No, I mean, I knew it was. I'm super smart, great film critic. Right. But actually, this is the one thing I agree. Like, because we were doing predictions, we weren't doing hopes. But I wish Daniel wasn't Kaluuya. I don't know. Yeah, I wish he won Best Actor just because that performance was unbelievable. Like, I know that's not the genre for it. I know that's not Oscar bait or whatever. But like when he, like, that performance was unbelievable. There's so many, just even like facial expressions. I should have just won it. But so my roommate picked that, and I was like, all right, go for it. But no, it wasn't. Not. That's all I have to say about that. I like that movie. It's a fun movie. But no, what I was going to say was there's a commercial for this, kind of a sort of hot topic issue, something that a lot of people suspected when this initially happened, but it seems like House of Cards is coming back. Did you see that?
I've never seen an episode of House of Cards.
I did not know that. Oh, it's crazy.
No, I've never seen it. You know.
Did you see the commercial though?
I was working through every commercial.
Right.
So did they show a Harry Poppins? Not Harry Poppins. Harry Poppins, I'd be into like a weird gender-bending remake of Harry Poppins. Oh yeah, Harry Poppins and Mary Poppins. That would be tight.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
I'd watch that. Yeah, no, but I actually watched it on YouTube. But I didn't know if it kind of broke into the.
Yeah, it did. That was one of the commercials. They cut into that, and I think they even said, I don't even know because I ended up looking at it after and like saw it, but I think it was like a teaser, 30-second, whatever, and then at the end they were like, if you want to see the full trailer, like, I don't know, go here or whatever. But yeah, they did a Mary Poppins sort of teaser. Towards the end, they did a House of Cards teaser where they had, I'm blanking on her name. Can you think of it? It's the, you know, Kevin Spacey's wife.
Well, that doesn't mean anything to me because I've never seen it. But
you know shoot.
The actor, she's in Blade Runner. God, and she's like the chief. Yeah, I can't remember. I always confuse it with. Yeah.
But anyway, so a lot of people thought so when the Kevin Spacey scandal broke, they canceled House of Cards, and a lot of people thought like that's kind of bullshit because he's an actor in it, he's the main actor in it, but like the way the structure was going with the plot or whatever, they're like they can kind of cut him out of the plot and continue the show, and they canceled it. And people thought that was controversial because like why not just have her like take over or whatever, and like that was a big talking point when it happened. And but officially until, you know, an hour or 2 hours ago, it was canceled. Now, what happened with the actual show or tonight? I mean, they showed a promo where all of a sudden she was like, "Oh, it's not over yet." And it's like, tune in for the next season coming this fall to Netflix. Tune in for the final season of House of Cards, and it was her. So it's basically what people. I feel like it was almost like the House of Cards people or Netflix or whoever saw this sort of general direction of what the you know the masses wanted, and then kind of tailored it to that. So it seems like they're going to do one more. Not seems like it's. I think it's pretty official. They're doing one more final season of House of Cards. It's going to be on Netflix coming out this fall. And I think, as far as I know, that wasn't known at all. I think this is like a big, almost like Cloverfield with freaking the Super Bowl commercial. I think this is like a big announcement during the Oscars that they're doing. And granted, it's a TV show, doesn't apply to the Oscars, but you know what I mean? I feel like it was like, all right, these are people who like film and TV, and we're going to throw this announcement their way or whatever. So there's I think it's breaking news. Once again, I don't know, maybe I'm an idiot and this came out like weeks ago. I don't think so, though. I think it's breaking news that the final season of House of Cards, there will be a final season, it's not just canceled. The final season will come out this fall, and obviously I'm assuming it'll be absent Kevin Spacey. But
yeah, I think, you know, it's bad. I mean, it's shitty to kind of lay off hundreds of people, literally hundreds of people work on that production. It's a huge show, and go like, sorry, everybody, you just lost your jobs because some guy was an asshole. Like, so you're all fired. I mean, that just sucks. So, I'm glad that they kind of at least give everyone some time to wrap it up and get their affairs in order and all that stuff.
By the way, real quick, straight along that same like Louis C.K. shows that he wasn't even in, but he like was an executive producer. They canceled like related shows, which I feel like even is more crazy. It's like these people, like I know he like was the front runner or whatever, but like all of a sudden all these people lose their job. I feel like that's almost
that's the difference, my friend. Yeah. So I mean, some things that he was just producing that were under his production company,
which is like almost name alone too.
Right. Well, like an animated show that was in the works that he was producing, FX just totally cut it. Yep, sorry. No one cares about it because it hasn't ever come out yet. Right? So they were like, well, we're just going to eat that one. Sorry, guys. You know what I mean? Right. And there's no uproar on Twitter about it because no one cares. Like, no one's seen it.
No one knew about it, right? For the most part.
Yeah, so, but people did know about, is it Better Things?
Yep.
Yeah, and I like Better Things. I just couldn't remember it, but I like, is it Pam Alden? Yep. She's the star and the writer, and I've seen.
Yeah, she's great.
I've seen probably 3-4 episodes of it, something like that. But people were like, "Are you guys going to cancel Pam Alden's show because of Louis C.K.? Because that's another." You know what I mean? Like, that would have been such bad press for them if they had done that. You know what I mean? So they, I mean, I don't expect them to do that, but it's a weird area because, Tig Notaro's show got canceled. That was also a Louis C.K. kind of production, I think, in conjunction kind of with Amazon and stuff like that. But I think it just got canceled because no one liked it. But, right. I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Real quick, Robin Wright is the name of, and she played.
There you go. Shout out.
Yeah, no, and she's great too. I actually feel bad. I forgot her name, and obviously the character is Claire Underwood. But it seems like they're going to persist with her sort of being the star of the show without Kevin Spacey to remove him from the script, which is like pretty easy to write him off, I think. If you're familiar with the show, even if you're not, like, I don't know, there's ways to do it. So I think he'll be written off the show, obviously. I don't expect Kevin Spacey to make a cameo. And it's one final season, they'll wrap it up. So it's cool that they did that, I think, because, I mean, yeah, like you said, even just to give the cast and crew like an opportunity to branch this into whatever their next career move is. It's not their fault, I don't know. He's just, and it's one thing if it's like your whole show. He's just the star of the show. Like, it just sucks for everyone else. So, like, I understand the move to cancel the show, but it's like, who are you really punishing? Because him and a ton of innocent bystanders. So I'm glad they did that at least.
Yep, I'd agree.
But so I guess I'll wrap it up with this, and then we could ask you if you have more things to talk about after. But just branching it back to ourselves or bringing it back to ourselves. What are your thoughts on, so granted, how long has the Disorderly existed for? It's been, I don't know, a few months, right? Pretty new.
I think we launched in like October.
Right, that sounds right.
And it seems, I feels like I've been doing this for 10 years, but it's,
I believe that. But what I will say is this is obviously, I think, I mean, granted, it's a sports entertainment side. I think at least at the moment, I've been leaning almost more towards the entertainment side of things. And I think it's pretty unbiased to say that the Oscars are sort of the Super Bowl of the entertainment world. Like, even more than the Emmys or anything else, I feel like the Oscars, like, that's it. It's like the big annual event. What are your thoughts? Now, granted, we pieced it together. We're still learning on the go, all this stuff, but we did that, me and my roommate did like that kind of bullshit Oscars preview. Not bullshit, but it's like a funny one. It wasn't like a super in-depth. We're doing this recap right now. We did the predictions, all that stuff. What are your general thoughts on our coverage of the Oscars in our first basic attempt, I guess? I
mean, I try to lead from the front. Obviously, getting the most picks in the staff predictions was huge for me this year.
It's actually really, I'm glad you mentioned that because I feel like the audience did not know yet. So I'm glad you finally brought that up.
I just wanted to reiterate, you know what I mean? So I think it's a really strong... it speaks a lot about me personally that I had the most picks of everyone.
Super smart.
And that, how it would look terrible if I had 1-2 picks, something like that. You know what I mean? That's not great. So I just want everyone to believe and have faith in this project moving forward that, someone at the top has some sense of what's going on. Nick, you and Volpe are kind of, scrambling at my coattails, trying to catch up. Next year you'll have a chance at redemption. I would love for you to, finally see all these horrible movies with me.
Now, not to interrupt, but real quick, I will interrupt. I feel like this is what we talked about even when we started this website. I'm more of the TV guy, you're more of the movie guy. So let's see how we do on the Emmys, because I feel like we're obviously going to cover that as well. I think I will outshine you in the Emmys, and I guess we'll just have to see. And then we'll maybe have a tiebreaker with, I don't even know, Tonys. You want to do Tonys coverage? We'll see.
Tonys are going to be tough to beat me.
Big musical guy.
I'm a huge musical guy.
You actually might have competition with my roommate. That actually might be the one. She was a big musical girl. She might outshine you on that one. We'll see.
She's going to kill me. Ash goes, we should see the original. I've never seen Mary Poppins, and we're watching the Mary Poppins spot. She goes, well, we should see the original before we see the new one. And I went, hold on a second. You just, before we see the new one and watch, I'm not going to see the first one, and I'm not going to see the next one. And she goes, well, I was like, I'm not going to rewatch Mary Poppins. She goes, well, how are you you're going to watch the new one before you? No. You misunderstood. I'm not going to watch either of these Mary Poppins. You're right. I'm just going to move on with my life. And you know what I mean? I'm fine with Mary Poppins existing and everything, but
speaking of odd couples, we might actually have to, cause my roommate, big Mary Poppins person, apparently she actually saw the preview. She's like, whoa, is that a new Mary Poppins? And I was like, I don't know, I was barely paying attention. She's like, I feel like I just saw a commercial for it. So then I had to look it up, and then she's very excited about the new one. She's of course seen the old one because she was born in 1965 apparently. So I think this might be the first sort of odd couple. You might have to get Monica and Ash together talking about Mary Poppins, and we can just post it without listening, because obviously
sounds great. No, I listened to it. I was like, I'm watching this spot and I go, is she a witch? Like, what is she? And Ash is like, oh, it's a mystery. You know, that's part of the lore. No one knows what she is or the deal. And I go, well, she's flying through the sky.
With an umbrella. Very creepy.
On an umbrella. She's doing some whimsical magic mirror stuff going on.
Trying to give all the kids diabetes with a spoonful of sugar. Yeah, for sure.
I was just kind of very confused about the origins of her powers. You know what I mean? What's her origin story? That's what I need to know.
She's from Wakanda. She has vibranium going through her veins.
All right. Yeah,
that'd be a hell of a twist, by the way. If that's how Mary Poppins got her power, hell of a twist.
Bring it all in the synergy. Loop it back into Wakanda. Get that $60 million opening weekend. Go for it.
Honestly, it'd be a smart move marketing wise. Like, people would see it if it was a sort of weird prequel to Black Panther.
Just retcon it. Yeah.
I had someone, by the way, I'm not going to get too into this. I had someone call me a racist because I said the movie was good but not great. Someone called me a racist. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to name names, but that happened to me in real life.
What movie are you speaking of?
Well, not Mary Poppins. Black Panther.
Are you talking about Black Panther? Yeah. You were called a racist for not loving it?
Yes. I said it was good, but not great. Got called a racist.
Sounds pretty racist.
Yeah, but the reason I said that mostly is because I hate black people. So they got me. They were right. They nailed that nail in the head, you know? So
well, that clip is going to be taken out of context and used against you in 5 years.
I hope it would be my dream
taking this to
popular.
An IPO.
They're just going to say, it's like, listen to Nick say he hates black people. And if they pull that out, that means we made it. It means we're successful. I would love for that to happen. I feel like that's almost in the best interest.
I feel like it happens to the best of them. You know what I mean?
Right. It'd be a compliment.
It's like, yeah, it's almost it's a sign. You know what I mean? It's
like, become so popular that I can get taken out of context. That's a dream come true. I hope it gets to that point.
I just want to make it clear that I stand firmly opposed to all of Nick's beliefs about every race, and
yeah, they're gonna cut that. People are not above selective editing, and what they're gonna cut that to be is I stand firmly opposed to every race. I could easily cut out the middle part,
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later. We'll work on our editing skills. All right, what else you got? I mean, what time is it? Where
yeah,
is it?
Shit.
Sounds terrible.
12:45. I'm hoping to edit this tonight too. This is dedication to the craft, by the way. If you want to support the Disorderly, I'm very tired.
Well, clearly,
already. I have to wake up very early because I have a full-time job, and it's going to be terrible. So if you want to support your local mom and pop entertainment site, do that now. I hope to one day be a conglomerate. I hope to sell out. My goal is to sell out. I'm not trying to be. I have no ambitions for artistic integrity. I want to sell out. But in the meantime, we're really struggling, or at least me. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. So I'm extremely tired. But I think that's all I got. I think. I don't know. Were there any? I guess this is a sort of general question too. But were there any award winners? I think most of them are pretty straightforward, pretty predictable. I think that's what people thought were going to happen. Were there any award winners that surprised you or shocked you in any way?
Well, the one pick that I got incorrect was shocking because I thought I would just have a clean game, but Get Out winning.
Was be wrong. Obviously, Get Out was going to win.
Get Out winning over Greta Gerwig really just got into my craw. You know what I mean? So, I guess that's we still have a ways to go in terms of gender equality.
Oh, so you're blaming your incorrect pick on sexism?
Well, I'm not directly saying that, but I'm indirectly saying that.
I will say though, I saw Lady Bird on Friday, I think. So obviously we're recording this right after the Oscars, so it's Sunday. So I saw it a couple days ago for the first time. I loved it. Thought it was great. I actually thought I feel like I heard mixed opinions, and then even the trailer seemed like pretentious. I was like, I'm not going to connect with this movie. When I watched it, I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, just a little shout out to Lady Bird. I know. Yeah, I remember talking to you about it. You had seen it and I hadn't. I remember talking to you about it. That probably shaped my opinion, where I was like I feel like I agree with you on most things, and I was like, like you didn't like it, so I probably won't either. And then I remember watching it and be like, I did like it a lot. It
was fine. It just it hit a little clue. I went to Catholic high school, and it hit close to home. You know what I mean? Because it just the uniform stuff and the the weird, because I was definitely not in the top. I mean, I went to school with some crazy kids that just. I mean, I don't know if I just have goofy stories you wouldn't even believe. I mean, kids driving multiple different sports cars to school every day. I had a friend who had a ice rink at his house, an Olympic-sized ice rink at his house. And he was just like, yeah, whatever, kind of, I mean, just crazy kids, senators' kids, congressmen's kids. I had an actual princess at my high school. And, I just was not sort of in that level of group. My parents worked really hard. They sacrificed a lot to pay my tuition and all that stuff. So I kind of, I was definitely not too bad off or anything. But I think I was driving a Ford Ranger pickup truck, you know what I mean, in high school when I had friends driving, their second or third Mercedes or whatever they were. So it was interesting to kind of see that take from kind of the female side. But it was also just a little too weird for me. You know what I mean? Just certain things going on. I don't know. I feel like it didn't seem that original to me. We've kind of seen this every about 5 years. What happened to Diablo Cody? Did she just die? Like, I don't know what happened to her, but she was kind of the darling of sort of these coming of age movies. And, I was like, yeah, we've seen a couple of these. I've seen a couple of these movies that are like, oh, kind of a semi-awkward but not an attractive girl going through high school. Like, I kind of get it. Like, we've you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
I was just kind of.
I'm hearing you talking. I feel like you're driving a Ford. You sound like a real poor piece of garbage. If I had to just speak frankly off the cuff, but I hope people can relate to you. Still, it's just like you just sound like a piece of trash. But I'm obviously joking because I went to public school, so I'm the lowest of the low according to Hollywood.
We talked about this at length last time about all the
pregnant girls from
the high pregnancy
rates. I dated one of them.
I
dated. I'm not gonna get into it, but.
We had a few at my school because we're Catholic, you know what I mean?
Right, no contraception, no way.
Well, yeah, so you got to rock it, and you got to.
Also, for sure, no sex till marriage. So like, there should be no excuse for pregnancy at a Catholic high school. But
listen, this is veered into some strange, different waters. Talking about the different
I think it's a good place
rates at our respective schools.
It's a good place to wrap up, I think.
Well, I don't want to sound like I'm like really thrilled about being like the poor guy at my super rich high school. Like, I don't want everyone to think like, oh, I had a, you know what I mean? I'm not like bragging about other kids being rich in my high school. Like, I don't really.
You knew someone at an ice rink? All right, cool, bro. Yeah, no, I got you.
No, I'm just saying, like, I was just kind of surrounded by these kind of asshole rich kids from a very early age. You know what I mean? And so I could kind of see her where she was falling in with that, and kind of the, Shyamalan, Timothy Chalamet.
One of those.
I had a lot of dude friends that were basically that guy, kind of the uselessly kind of semi good looking with a rich dad who doesn't really care and lets them kind of do whatever. You know what I mean? That was just kind of like, I was kind of cringing at, a little too many of these things kind of hit close to home.
Right. All right. Well, I feel like that's a good place to wrap it up. I will say, quick shout out, just because of him, it just reminded me of this. The Spirit Awards, once again, the monologue was done by Nick Kroll and John Mulaney, and it was hilarious. I don't know if you saw it.
I did.
Really good. It's
in the Disorderly for Tomorrow. It's in the Spotlight.
Yeah, check that out.
One of my favorite. Glad they got a repeat.
Hilarious.
Just let them do it every year.
The crowd, by the way, was like very like timid about a lot of the jokes. I love like this. This is what Jimmy Kimmel should. They really. I mean, they didn't hold back at all. They're hilarious. It was a great monologue.
No, I mean that was a hell of a sell. You know what I mean? You could have riffed on a few of their little things like that, but yeah, no, they are kind of the creative mind, sort of ish, behind Big Mouth, one of my favorite shows on Netflix. Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of bits are coming out. So, but I'm definitely posting that monologue in the video section for tomorrow.
Good stuff, man. All right, I think that will do it. If you want to, I feel like you're better at this than me. So if you want to plug the website, social media, all that, go for it.
Twitter, Disorderly, at the Disorderly Media. I'm terrible.
I feel like I just like yielded to you because I feel like you would get it right, and I would screw it up.
I see it all the time. I see it every day, but I just don't really mess with it. Follow us, Disorderly. Follow us online.
Well done.
Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Go to disorderly.com. That's where everything is.
All right, great. I appreciate you guys listening, and we'll catch you, I don't know, throughout the week.